Hello YouTubers. Today is August 20th, 2019. I'm here at the abandoned storage unit locker that I wanted auctioned back in January 2019. Here is a link to my video that describes how I came to win it. This video tells how I won the auction in the first place and how I came to bid and eventually win it. I have not been back here since I opened it on the day that I won it in January. And again, today is August 20th. And I only got through about half of it before I ran out of time. The huge thing that I found was an extremely heavy bucket of what I thought was pocket change, but which turned out to contain a large amount of gold and silver coins and ingots. Here is a link to that video that shows me going through the change bucket. I think you'll find that really interesting. There's a coin collection in there and a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Okay, so back to this storage unit. There was a lot of marine stuff, which you'll see in a minute, that led some viewers to comment that they believe that the person who owned this locker was outfitting or rebuilding or something a boat. My guess is that he or she lived in Houston, and maybe their boat was down in Galveston, because this is where I am. I'm in Houston. So I'm going to take a quick look at the things I've already seen before getting down to the stuff that I didn't get to in January. So here we go. The locker, and I'll say this real quick, the locker had originally a tarp over it. I could just barely see a couple of small things. But they won't let you go in there, they won't let you touch anything before the auction. So I thought I paid a decent price. I've found since then people are buying units for like $10, which I paid like $400 and something. This first thing is obviously a outboard motor gas tank. And I found that there were 3 outboard motors in here. I don't know which one of those it goes to. There's a pack of fittings. Some electronics. It's a lot hotter here than it was in January. This is an SCSPT-C2 DSP multimode Pactor controller. I have no idea what that is. Special communication systems. It's a modem of some sort. And then there were a bunch of cables. There's a box. There's an oil pressure sender. Let's see if I'm getting these. Yeah, it's an oil pressure sender. And a bunch of your garden variety adapters, electronic adapters. So I will look up a Pactor communication modem and see what that does. But my guess it's something to do with marine things. My guess is it has something to do with marine things. So this tarp is covering most of the stuff. I don't know if they were expecting a roof leak or what. The roof above the storage unit, it's open. It's just sealed with chicken wire. So I guess they didn't have a lot of confidence in the integrity of the ceiling. All right, so there are 2 cushions. My guess is that they're boat cushions. This is a a BST 12 HPP. I have no idea what this is. High pressure. I think it's a pump. Yeah, I don't know. Super turbo. Let's just call it a pump. Three more, 2 2 more boat cushions. And it's really raining. Basket. This is a bag of some sort with, I guess, child-proof holes in it to keep your kid from suffocating. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a backpack or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And I had somebody complain to me, not complain, they rightfully said that I treated some things with disrespect when I did this the first time. And for that I apologize, and I'm going to try to make sure I don't do that this time. Because somebody's day was ruined, I would think. Hello. I think these are power adapters from some kind of foreign country or something, I guess. Yeah. There's a light fixture. I think it's, yeah, it's a light fixture. It's got the foreign plug on it. So I think that whoever it was that suggested that they might be outfitting a boat, maybe for international travel, I don't know. A breeze booster. It's like a kite. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure some boater would know. Fish snagger. Hope I can get this done before we lose power. Thin light, fluorescent light. That's a whole fixture with a power button. Piece of aluminum or steel. A rope with an eye hooking up to something. A cable, which I believe went to that radar antenna. Can you see that? Yeah. I think this goes to that antenna. I'm going to try to avoid moving some of the really heavy stuff. Oh. This thing, oops, this thing, it's a life raft. It's from Australia. It's from Australia. So I wouldn't mind seeing how that works. Let me take this off a second, because there's some of these things that I don't want to move because they're just really heavy. This is a, I don't know, you fill it with air for some reason, I don't know why. It's a bag of some kind, except I don't see an opening. Okay, one of these, there are 3 outboard motors in here. 1, 2, 3. And I saw a piece of one of them when I was bidding on this thing. That's actually what made me think this might be a decent unit. I don't have any idea whether they run. That was one of my thoughts, is I'd maybe take them over to somebody that works on outboards, and because this is kind of a, I wouldn't say it's a marine town, but it's close to it. So there's an anchor. Looks like the type of anchor I'm used to seeing. And here's another anchor. That thing's also heavy. And then there's a third anchor somewhere, yeah, down in here. So, it's this thing. There's an engine, or an engine block, and there are engine parts underneath that anchor. And I moved the stuff back in January, and stuff in that box is heavy. There's a starter there, an alternator. There's a piece, this thing here, and that thing, that red thing. Somebody, a lady, very kindly told me that that was a piece of a boat engine. I can't remember what type or what its function was. This I am familiar with. I'm familiar with the brand. It's REI, and this is a waterproof bag that you seal it. You put your stuff that you don't want to get wet, and then you fold it over and you connect the little latches, and it keeps your stuff dry. So I definitely will not sell that. I'll keep it, because you never know. If you remember, we had a hurricane here a couple of years ago, Harvey, that a lot of stuff got wet. Okay, so I'm going to move this life raft out of the way so I can get in, and then I will go through this stuff. And this stuff I've seen before. I saw it, and there's another video that I did where I was actually seeing this stuff for the first time, but I'm really showing it again for the sake of completeness. Somebody, I remember distinctly that I blew this thing off because it was so hard to get to, and somebody yelled at me about it, so I definitely want to see what's in there. And then everything from here over, I haven't been into. So give me a second to move this stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've moved the life raft out of the way. Now I can get in here. This looks to my eye to be a foot pump of some kind. I don't know what for. It might go with that electric thing I thought was a pump. This is something rigging. Stainless, I guess, I don't know what they are. So, and a bunch of screws. Oh, that's cool looking. Oh, I get it. This probably goes here. So this is almost certainly a vent. That's a vent cover, probably for making the boat waterproof when you don't want to be ventilating it. Oh, those were probably cotter pins in that little rigging box. All right, so well, that was interesting. Let me set this down for a moment. Okay, so with that out of the way, this says from the boat. I don't know if I opened that or not. Actually, I need to move this antenna out of the way because I don't want to drop that. So I moved the antenna. I have a feeling that antenna, if it works, is worth a fortune. Because I'm sure that kind of stuff is not cheap. This is a C-Talk network switch. Stuff looks like it's brand new, like it was never used. I hope the person didn't come to a bad end in some way. So this looks brand new. I don't know what it is, but so looks like something for eBay. Here's a computer bag for a Dell computer. It appears to be empty and a little moldy. Maybe it was on the boat. Nothing in here. And there is some stuff in here. Looks like an autopilot maybe. So it appears to be operating manuals for some of the marine electronics that is in here. So it's a nice bag to put that stuff in. Okay, these are what someone commented on and said it was something to do with the boat engine, which seems reasonable to me. I don't know what they are. There's a box of books and some stuff. These appear to, it says service parts, Westerbeek service parts. So I guess those are engine parts. And some schematics. Westerbeek. So and there's a piece of electronics. A Raystar GPS. Heck, my phone's got one of those. Family book of boating. A V-drive manual. I guess that's his transmission. Variant. I have no idea what that is. And some books. Alone Around the World. Now I wonder if this person was going to sail around the world. Fiberglass boat repair and maintenance. Jesus, I'm starting to feel guilty. I don't think I went through this the first time. So I can't get what's below that without going through this. So I will do that. Yeah, it smells moldy. So this says refrigeration, and I guess it's refrigeration documents. Uh-oh, just lost power. Some old inner tube in case you have a flat out in the high seas. Another one. Earmuffs. He was going to the Arctic. The Globe Master series. Something. Man, this stuff stinks. These appear to be engine parts. Oh, more books. Marine diesels. Oh, shoot. Marine diesels. Boating weather. Oh, here's another pump. So this appears to be stuff that is smelly, and here's a clutch. I think. Some clutch pieces. A West system. Something. Looks like my wife's compact case. Oh, it's a scale. I don't know why. That's interesting. So, yeah, this appears to be basically engine parts, and I'm not really dressed to go down into that. So I'm going to assume that since it says it's from the boat, that it's boat stuff, and I'm going to leave that temporarily for another day. I didn't think that I would be, I'm not really prepared to get dirty. Alright, hang on. Okay. So I have moved that gray box, and now I've got this stuff is exposed. So I want to move this. And the engine and anchor fell over when I moved that box. So the engine fell over and the anchor fell over, which exposed something. This anchor is 55 pounds, 4/12/93. Guess that's when the guy, I don't know, either bought it or sold it. So, okay, so here, underneath that milk crate was a life sling, which I think is a rescue device. Looks like there's some instructions on it. And then under that, there are even more boating books. This is a wiring harness for something, and more, I'd say one of those things, this thing right here looks like it's an air pump hose, like you plug onto a tire. So, alright, so now, this is the box that somebody asked me about. Hang on. Okay, so I just picked it up. The lid fell off. So it's boating waterproof stuff. Some pretty nice stuff too, looks like. It doesn't smell too moldy. Respect the elements. Gill. That's pretty heavy. I would think that's, oh. Jesus. These are pants. This dude was a serious offshore sailor. Wow. Wow. And then more of it. I think this is a wetsuit. Pretty small person by the looks of it. Yeah, so to you who asked me about this, or maybe they didn't ask me about it, they kind of whacked me for not giving it more attention. I apologize, and I hope that satisfied your curiosity. There's a baby anchor on a rope. That's kind of cool. So maybe for a little, a little dinghy or something. So, all right, let me put this box back. Oops. All right, the box is back. I need to put the milk crate back on here so I can have some room. Okay. So I can see that this, through the bag, says Ready Marine. Well, I could see it when I picked it up. Yeah. Yeah, Ray Marine. This is that thing that I had my finger on is a cover for another device in here. Boy, am I going to have some editing to do. Alright. This is a Ray Marine. I don't know what it is. It has a keypad, Ray Marine, active, data. I wonder if this is the radar controller, because there is over here there's a display underneath that bag that it may go with. I never actually got to pick up the display, I just kind of saw it over there. So let me set this down. Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? This came out of this milk crate. And it says Sea Dog, some kind of light. And, wow, looks like an old headlight. Cool. I don't know how well organized this stuff is, if it matters whether I put it back in a different box from where I got it or what. This propeller for presumably one of those outboards. A water pump, clearly. Brass fittings, brand new, Graco. There are a couple of them in there. Yeah, I thought this was a starter, but it's not. Well, it might be. Oh, it looks a little small. Well, I don't know, it's an engine part. And there appear to be more engine parts down in here. Oh, I don't know how this, I don't know if these are the same ones or different, but they're more brass fittings. So, alright, so there's a box, there's a cylinder head here that I need to move, and then there's this box that says some kind of plotter. Sureflow pump, new, chart plotter, and some kind of light, I think. So let me set the phone down and try to get to this. Standard Horizon. Oh man, I think what this is. It's dusty, I know. Should probably put this on the tripod. Try this. There may be somebody nearby if I hear some movement. Man, oh man. I'm not going to say out loud what this is. I think it's a 22. Couple of magazines. Wow, that's going to go with me. And here's another one. This is pretty heavy. I'm not going to say what this is either. I'll tell you one thing. It's loaded. The hammer's back. Safety is on. Hollow points. Yeah, it was loaded. Look a little corroded. Cool. Oh, this one's loaded too. Different bullets. Alright, let me put this back. Yeah, this is definitely going with me. What do I do with the other one? Here it is. Okay. So that's a pump. That's kind of taking the steam out of my desire to, well, I guess that's the searchlight. It's chart plotter. Can't imagine there's anything else interesting in there. This is Litton Special Devices. I feel like I knew what this was at one time. It's a beacon. To deploy beacon, do this. To stop transmission, do that. Expiration date 2004. Cool. Alright. Now we're getting into things that this is the first time I've seen this. Navigation software version 6.0. It's been opened. Yeah, I don't know anything about navigation, so it wouldn't mean anything to me. Let's hope it's at least a DVD and not 5-inch floppy. Jesus. think we got some more things coming up. Smart controller, autopilot, remote. Whatever this is, it hasn't been opened. This thing is zoomed in. So let me set this down. Now, so another one of those vents. All right. This is a white Dorade Pomponette Hood Yacht Systems. Oh yeah. So this is a vent. That's what goes onto that round silver thing that was on the other box. It must be out in the hall. Sharp looking. Here's another one. And yet another one. Yeah, there's 3 of them. And there's a box. Doesn't say what this is. It's closed up, and I really want to get to this. So let me set this down. Alright, this thing is really dusty. I'd say it's been here a while. It's pretty. I'll take that out to the truck. Another one. This is a bolt action. Oh, I bet this is that little. There was a little magazine that went to a 22. I bet that's what this is. That was also really dusty. Make sure these things are not loaded. This is a shotgun. It's also very dusty. And last but not least, I'm going to start down here. A little close to it for this, but it's a semi-automatic, maybe 22 or 223. Cool. Gotta stop saying cool. Alright, so this one's not loaded. Not loaded. '22 is not loaded. And the shotgun it's hard to do this in one hand. Is not loaded. So of those 6 weapons, the 3 rifles, 2 pistols, and a shotgun, only the 1 pistol is loaded. So I'm going to set those aside and take a break. It's hot. Alright, continuing on. I found that this cardboard box is engine parts, so I'm not going to open it. So I'm not going to rebuild that engine. Alright, this is a West Marine VHF 580 and another VHF radio. Some more of that steel, looks like, only rusty. And oh, there's another one of those beacons. A bunch of marine plumbing fittings. And then down in there are what look like sailboat winches. I think, not ducks, winches. And then crank pulley. And it's heavy like a crank pulley. Another one of those breeze boosters. Oh, that one says wind scoop. This one will go down the hatch. Brand. Put the stuff back. And some kind of a bank bag. Jesus, I hope this is not a bank robbery proceeds. That looks like the mount for that radar antenna. It's a Edson brand. Oh, there's another one of those lights. and engine parts. I was really worried here when I saw this. I thought, oh Christ, I hope this is not a bank robbery. Largest west of Boston. And then there's a hose, and then more Ray Marine papers. And then there's some chain and some kind of a locking device. I don't know what for. Maybe oh. All right, let me set this down. These sails I saw before, I think. So I'm not going to go through those. There's another one right here. They're heavy. I saw this. This is an empty box that was laying down against the floor. This may be the box that one of those rifles came in. And then there is an E80 display, new in box. And I'm just out of gas. I'll have to figure out what that last thing is later. So that's it, folks. I will edit this and hopefully somebody will find it interesting. Thanks. Bye. You know, and for the sake of completeness, I figured out why that tarp was on there. This thing sits right below a skylight. So I guess I figured if it ever rains and leaks, it'll be covered.